Ren from Hallowed Be Thy Game, and today we're talking about more games we want to see remastered. Let's check it out. Well, everyone, welcome back to another episode of Hallowed Be Thy Game, and I'm excited to have Danik here once again with me.
Here we are again.
Oh, we're at it. So there's so many games we want to see ported. So many, too many, in fact. We want to see ported and remastered, but here are just 8 more games we think deserve to be ported. And also, if you haven't seen our first video, it'll be linked down in the description.
We just want to talk about some old games, and this is an excuse to do it.
I'm going to be honest, yeah. Like we've been nerding and talking about these games so much. It's time.
It's time.
It's beyond time. So with that, let's get to number 8, Shadow Hearts. I'm going to be honest. Since starting YouTube, there are a couple games I am recommended constantly, and I would dare say number 1 or number 2 on that list is Shadow Hearts.
I know nothing about Shadow Hearts.
Don't worry, neither did I before starting YouTube. But I will say this: this game is completely unobtainable at this point,
really?
Physically for me. Yeah, it is. It's up there. It's up there. But what's interesting about this is I made a video about can RPGs be horror games, JRPGs be horror games, and a lot of people said Shadow Hearts. And I agree. Everything I've seen about this game has a very haunting, classically spooky atmosphere to it. But what interests me the most about this is the combat system. It introduced the Judgment Wheel, which is essentially like an active time button press to where you'll bring up a move and ability. This very unique wheel will start. And if you can time your button presses right, you'll have increased damage modifiers from what I can tell. That is right up my alley. Anything that can take a turn-based game, which is already one of my favorite genres, and introduce an element that can kind of make you feel like you're on your toes and make each move feel accessible, fun, but also keep you engaged even more. I mean, that's why the turn-based the press turn battle system from SMT and Persona is my favorite, because there's a lot of miniature decisions to be made on the fly, and just making it feel a little bit more active time. Oh, that's right up my alley. These are just definitely renowned for being spooky turn-based games, and really it just looks excellent to me. And what's odd is there is such a massive groundswell of fans for this, and I think it definitely has place. Now, hopefully it would succeed enough and we could get some of the subsequent entries and even Kudelka to be ported as well, but again, Shadow Hearts. It's absolutely one of my most desired games to play. Number 7, Dino Crisis.
There's a lot of these for me that just games I've never played before.
Right.
I've always heard Dino Crisis was kind of Resident. It was what, on PlayStation?
Yes.
Dreamcast, maybe Saturn, but that era.
Yeah.
That era. And there was Dino Crisis 1 and 2, and I think 3 came out on Xbox, which was weird.
Right.
But I've always heard them called Resident Evil with dinosaurs.
Right.
And heck yeah, man, I'm totally in.
Seriously, it looks right in my alley.
I've never played them. None of my cousins even had them. I never had a chance to try these.
Right.
But they're always talked about. Again, passionate fans.
Yes.
I never feel like they're dogging anybody else.
Right.
This is just something. This was Capcom, I believe.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I believe there were just 3 of them. I think maybe as Capcom's did these wonderful Resident Evil 2 remake, we got Resident Evil 4 remake. I liked Resident Evil 7 and 8. Hey, let's see. Once we're done with all these remakes, maybe Dino Crisis. It could be time.
I definitely think that the
graphics of Resident Evil 2 with dinosaurs. Come on, that'd be.
I know.
Jurassic Park look. That'd be terrifying.
I have such an interest. Because if I'm honest with myself, I mean, Resident Evil 2 remake is one of my favorite games of all time, easily.
Easy.
What's interesting about RE2 when it came out, RE1, and Dino Crisis is genuinely they petrified me as a kid. I mean, like I had a hard time mowing the yard for like a week after I was at my cousin's house and saw him playing the first Resident Evil. it's just that era of graphics is like home to me, and I think there's a lot of people who feel that way. So Dino
it's like
Crisis,
a VHS tape.
yes, the VHS lines, stuff like that. Yeah, I think Dino Crisis absolutely could do well these days.
And I had a Game Informer back in the day advertising Dino Crisis. Really? Don't get me wrong, everybody. I also didn't play these games because I was mortified of horror games. Let's
right.
get one thing clear.
Right.
But Dino Crisis just seems like now such a cool concept, something I'd really like to try.
Number 6, Drakengard 1 and 3. Now, I personally have kind of a mixed response here. I know Drakengard 2, some people love it. Again, there's a fan for every game out there, but it's also not canon.
However, really? Interesting.
Yeah, Drakengard 1, I loved back in the day, which I hear some controversial stories about Drakengard 1. I'm like, there's no way that was in the game. Sure enough, it was. Anyways, that's a story for a different video. Anyways, but Drakengard 1, I really loved. It's kind of, Yoko Taro has just a melding of genres. It was my first time playing a game like that, where you could kind of, you could have flying aerial combat, ground combat. It was a lot of fun. I know it isn't as pretty these days. However, Drakengard 3, I've never played. And I'm at a point now where I don't have a PS3. I don't have access to one. Drakengard 3 looks excellent. In fact, it was just speedrun at SGDQ. It looks excellent. And I think it makes total sense with Nier Automata was just announced today, coming to the Switch. And there's so many links between Drakengard 1, 3, and Nier Automata, Nier Replicant. It makes sense. And it's hot right now. A lot of people would love this and be all over it, especially Drakengard 3. I think they could absolutely do with an HD port and remaster. But what do you all think about the Drakengard games? Have you played too? What do you think of it? Let me know. I'd be interested to find out. Number 5, Parasite Eve. I'm so happy you picked Parasite Eve.
Tell me all about it, because I don't know anything about it.
Oh, neither do I.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah,
fantastic entry then.
Yeah.
It's what this the quote unquote horror turn-based PlayStation Square Enix game?
Yeah, it's really unique. And again, I mentioned before, one of the games I'm recommended the most is Shadow Hearts. Very high on that list is Parasite Eve as well.
We had a friend when we first worked together who loved Parasite. He's a big Resident Evil fan anyway. Loved Parasite Eve.
And that's it.
And I never tried it.
And honestly, everything I see about Parasite Eve, it is one of those games that's like, why didn't this take
off?
Yeah, why didn't it take off? I ask myself that a lot. And really, Parasite Eve, it has a very unique combat system to where, I don't know, I don't know if like the VAT system from Fallout took some inspiration from it or not, but it looks
aiming
a little
at limbs kind of thing.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it seems like such a brilliant concept. So right now we have Resident Evil 4 being remade. Resident Evil 4 was put on VR. There is a massive... Now, I know Resident Evil 4 is one of the most beloved games of all time, but again, remakes are so hot right now because people want to experience the past, but there's also a lot of people who've listened to some older gamers and they're like, yeah, Parasite Eve is excellent, Shadow Hearts is excellent, I want to play it, I don't have the ability to access it. Parasite Eve, I think, would do excellent right now, and it wouldn't require that much, I think, to kind of remaster it, port it, and put it out. Number 4, Popful Mail. Now,
we looked at this.
Okay. This is one game that...
It looks adorable.
Yes, it's fantastically adorable. A Sega CD game. I think it has been localized to English market on the Sega CD, I think.
Was that the only place it came was Sega CD?
Yes, and that is
explains everything.
To my knowledge.
That's why I've never heard of it.
This sucker, as of the recording of this, I think is like $800+ on eBay for a complete in box. And I get it because it is such a niche, hidden, forgotten game. But it has gorgeous art style. It has an excellent kind of anime. I'm a sucker for old anime, and it has that retro look. The gameplay,
the 90s look.
The gameplay does look tough. It looks hard, but I think Sega Blocks. Actually put this one on my radar.
Shout out.
Yes, shout out to him. Definitely check out his channel. Obviously a big Sega fan, but Popful Mail is one of those games that I feel like if it had not been on kind of a ancillary old system, if it was maybe a part of an NSO collection, maybe a part of like Game Pass, PS Plus.
We've had so many Sega compilations, but I see here this isn't actually published by Sega, much to my surprise.
Really?
So perhaps that's why we haven't seen it anywhere. It's probably stuck in some kind of licensing limbo, as a lot of these games can be as well.
Yeah, and that's what's sad, because I think like when you look at the characters, they have definitely a marketable, very iconic and catchy look to it. Like, even before I could remember that the name was Popful Male, I'm like, oh yeah, that, you know, that one anime girl with the red hair. There's a lot that this game has going for it. Even the combat and everything looks very fun. It looks like an action platformer. I think it would do great with a compilation, and I'm hoping that the most recent, what is it? There's another recent Sega compilation coming out in Japan right now.
Oh, that Mega Drive 2 thing.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it can get translated in because I want to say Popful Male is on that. But,
really?
But I could be wrong. But
we'll see.
Yeah, I'm hoping that if it comes to the States, put Popful Male on it, and I want to get that day one.
That's interesting. That would be that'd be unique.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Number 3, Final Fantasy Tactics.
Might be cheating here because I kind of think this is coming.
Yeah, maybe the NVIDIA leaks.
It was on the NVIDIA leaks, and it's, I think, one of the very few things that is not quite yet official.
Right.
We've had some inklings of it, but I think we're getting, what is it, Tactics
Ogre Reborn.
It seems like that's going to be the next on the list, but I'm putting it on here because Tactics is a game I have probably started 600 times, and I've never beat it.
Right.
Again, I am just terrible at strategy games, whether it's real-time, whether it's turn-based, whether it's JRPG. I'm so bad at them. Hopefully maybe I can get through it on something new.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Final Fantasy Tactics is another one of those games that, I mean, with the Crisis Core remaster and port coming to modern consoles, I think it just goes to show that there are ancillary games and Square's back catalog, Final Fantasy spin-off games that have this huge cult following. And I'm hoping Square is detecting that, because with Tactics Ogre, that's kind of a deep cut.
Much more deep than Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah, I think Tactics, it just makes sense. Especially with, Project Triangle Strategy being wildly positively received. I'm really wanting to see Final Fantasy Tactics come back. Who knows, maybe it would get a little bit of an HD 2D remake-ified.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with that.
Get rid of the slowdown that the PSP version had.
Right.
I know that there was the iOS port. Now, gosh, that was probably 10 years ago.
Good Lord,
that I do believe fixed it. So I'm surprised they never just took the iOS port and put it on Switch. It has a touch screen. I feel like it would have worked pretty well.
And
maybe we need, like you mentioned, some HD high-res sprites.
And honestly, I'm even surprised Square hasn't announced the Pixel remaster of Final Fantasy 1 through 6 isn't coming to anything other than Steam and mobile as well.
That's very true.
Hopefully Tactics will not get left behind, and it would be excellent to see it get remastered. Number 2, Devil Survivor 1 and 2. I have very ulterior motives here, but I am going to package this under the guise that I just want more people to play it. But deep down, way deep down in there, I actually just want Devil Survivor 3, and I need more fans of the series to do so. And the only way that's going to happen is if Devil Survivor...
telling you how great they are.
Devil Survivor 1 and 2 are friggin' awesome. They are my favorite SRPGs, because I'm also like you. I'm not really into the SRPG genre, but I am a press turn battle system Cuckoo Bananas fan.
Met in the middle.
Yes, and this is the perfect blend between press turn combat and SRPG gameplay. This is an excellent game, wonderful art aesthetic. I have mentioned this in multiple videos. Devil Survivor 1 is very dire, somber, very eerie. I think you're playing through it right now.
Yes.
Yeah. And it has an excellent, unique soundtrack. That was one of the first things you reached out to.
I was very quickly into the game's music.
It rocks and slaps so hard. Devil Survivor 2 is my favorite from a gameplay perspective, but I love them both so much. Putting these together into a collection, putting them on modern consoles just makes sense. But again, I need more people to get interested in this so I can get a Devil Survivor 3.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. These were not originally DS games, correct?
They were so they came out on DS and then they were ported to the 3DS.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they had, I think they added voice acting. I played them on the 3DS, which is, God, I love the 3DS.
So do you think the dual screen is necessary?
No, it would take a little bit more effort to put them together, because the way it does is it'll show you a really cool layout of the monsters you're fighting on the top screen, and then you see like a readout of your abilities, spells, and party members on the bottom screen. It would take a little bit more than just copy and pasting it over. I'm not ignorant of that, but
they kind of did the reverse with Chrono Trigger on DS. They put all the abilities on the bottom screen.
That's very true.
So it can be done.
I think it could definitely be done if you just kind of like maybe rearrange the UI.
Hey, if they can make The World Ends With You work on one screen, anything can.
That's what I was thinking too, man. And you're not even using the stylus. The game just works. I don't even think they utilize the 3D capability, if I'm remembering right. They do have like kind of
the cutscenes.
They do have cutscenes, but I don't even think they have 3D in them. Just totally Devil Survivor 1 and 2. They are easily my favorite SRPGs. Port these so I can get a Devil Survivor 3. Number 1, Jet Set Radio Future.
Understand the concept of love.
Ooh.
I miss this game. Come on, Sega. Where I know there's a lot of Sega begging going on lately.
We are.
Come on, Sega.
Yeah, man.
We need Jet Set Radio. Come back. There's so much personality. Cell shaded is gone. When's the last cell shaded game?
I know.
I was telling you, I've been playing Tales of Arise. That kind of has like a style that reminds me of cell shaded.
Very
but it seems
bright
like
color palettes.
Yeah, that we had that minute on the PlayStation 2, GameCube, Xbox era of Auto Modelista, Jet Set Radio, 13, and Jet Set Radio, and I miss it. And it seems like to me, Jet Grind Radio on Dreamcast really innovated the visual style. And we got the sequel on Xbox and Radio Silence since. And it's a shame. The game is just full of personality, a wonderful soundtrack. I'm ready to see a new one. I know we're now to that stage where we have some indie influenced.
We do.
I'm going to be wrong on the name. I'll make sure to point it out in the video. But they're now influenced by Jet Set Radio games coming out, Sega. That means it's time.
Yeah, I agree. And what's interesting here is I haven't played these. I've only seen just a wide cult following for this game. And it seems to be surging here lately. There is definitely interest there. And Sega, come on, you're sitting on a lot of great games to bring back to everybody.
Yeah, Jet Set Radio is just one of those franchises, like Crazy Taxi. We even got like House of the Dead, which we got a remake of.
Yes, we did.
So maybe they're digging back in that catalog. Maybe we'll see something soon.
Absolutely. Well, there you have it. There's 8 more games we need a remaster for. But that's just our list. We would love to know what your games are that you would love to see remastered. Let us know down in the comments. Also, I want to give a huge shout out to our Patreon supporters. Your support means so much to us, and thank you so much. Also, I want to thank you all for watching. Thanks for liking and subscribing, and thanks for joining me again today, Danny.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and we will see you all next time.